eat anything weird, you got some sleep, and yet here it is again. That unmistakable throbbing, the nausea, the light that feels like a personal attack. A migraine. And the worst part, you have no idea what set it off this time. Most people don't know what migraines are and what set it off. They follow a pattern. They have triggers, and once you know what those triggers are, you can actually tackle them. So today we are covering the 10 biggest migraine triggers. Before we get into triggers, a quick explainer on what a migraine actually is, because it's not just a bad headache. Migraine is a neurological disease. During an attack, a wave of electrical activity sweeps across the brain's surface, called cortical spreading depression, which activates the trigeminal nerve, the nerve responsible for sensation in your face and hand. This sets off an inflammatory cascade that causes the intense pulsating pain, the nausea, and the sensitivity to light and sound that migraine is known for. Here's a stat to put this in perspective. Migraine affects over 1 billion people worldwide, making it the third most common disease on the planet. It also doesn't hit everyone equally. Women are 3 times more likely to have migraines than men. Now let's talk about triggers. First, stress. According to the American Migraine Foundation, stress is a trigger for nearly 70% of people with migraine. The stress of worrying about your next migraine can itself trigger one. It's a vicious cycle. Who's most at risk? Working adults aged 25 to 50, particularly women juggling high-demand careers and caregiving roles. What actually helps? Relaxation therapy trains your body to physically de-escalate its stress response. Consistent meditation and exercise can help. Identifying your known stressors and actively reducing them, not just managing them, can help with stress. Second, irregular sleep. Sleep and migraine are deeply intertwined. Your brain repairs itself during sleep, including the system that regulates pain. Disrupt that and you are inviting an attack. Nearly half of all migraine attacks occur between 4 a.m. and 9 a.m., right when your sleep cycle is at its lightest. This timing isn't coincidental. It's connected to the REM sleep pattern and the body's circadian regulation of serotonin and cortisol. Both too little and too much sleep can set off an attack. Who's most at risk? Night shift workers, new parents, college students, and anyone with inconsistent schedule. What actually helps? Fix sleep and wake up times, which means a good sleep cycle even on weekends. No screen or music or reading in bed. Avoid daytime napping if you are prone to attacks. Third, hormones. This one is especially significant for women. Up to 75% of women with migraine experience attacks around their menstrual period, triggered by the drop in estrogen and progesterone levels right before menstruation. This is so common that it has its own name, menstrual migraine. But hormonal shifts during pregnancy, perimenopause, and even while on and off of oral contraceptives can also trigger an attack. Who is most at risk? Women between puberty and menopause. What actually helps? Tracking your cycle alongside your migraine diary, discussing hormonal stabilization options with your gynecologist or a headache specialist. Also important to note, some contraceptives can worsen migraine with oral. Fourth, caffeine and alcohol. Caffeine can both trigger and relieve migraines, depending on your intake and the timing. Regular caffeine users who skip their morning coffee can trigger a withdrawal migraine as blood vessels dilate. On the flip side, small doses of caffeine can enhance the effect of pain relief medication, which is why some migraine drugs actually contain caffeine. For alcohol, while red wine is most commonly reported alcoholic trigger, research also show that other types of alcohol can be just as problematic. What actually helps? Gradual reduction of caffeine rather than sudden quitting. Tracking which alcoholic drinks trigger you specifically. If a migraine is starting after drinking, take your acute medication immediately. Fifth, food triggers. The list of food triggers is long, but some major ones are aged cheese, fermented or pickled food, processed and cured meats, artificial sweeteners. According to NIH research, diets low in vegetable oil and high in omega-3 fatty acids may actually help reduce migraine frequency. But it is important to remember that every migraine story is different. So everyone has a different struggle. What actually helps? A food diary identifying your specific triggers and eliminating diet under medical guidance, eating at consistent time every day, day. Skipping meals can be just as triggering as the wrong food. Sixth, dehydration. About 1/3 of people with migraine identify dehydration as the trigger. And for some, even mild dehydration is enough to trigger an attack. When you're dehydrated, the brain can temporarily contract, pulling away from the skull, which activates pain receptors. Heat and high humidity accelerates this, which means summer months can mean more frequent attacks. What can actually help? Carry a water bottle always. Target 2 liters of fluid daily. Limit coffee, alcohol, and salty foods. Seventh, weather changes. You can't control the weather, but you can anticipate it. Changes in barometric pressure, temperature swings, high humidity, and storms are well documented migraine triggers. The leading theory is that pressure changes affect the pressure of cerebrospinal fluid and the sinuses, activating the trigeminal nerve. What actually helps? Download a weather app that tracks barometric pressure so that you know what is going to happen. Minimize other triggers during high-risk weather windows. Stay indoors during peak heat, especially in summer afternoons. 8. Light and sensory overload. Sensitivity to light, called photophobia, is actually one of the official diagnostic criteria for migraines. It's that severe. Bright natural light, fluorescent bulbs, and flickering screen can all set off an attack. Loud sounds and strong smells of perfumes, gasoline, cigarette activate the same pain pathways. What actually helps? Wear polarized sunglasses outdoor always. At work, sit near natural light and away from fluorescent fixtures. Let co-workers know about fragrance sensitivity. Don't worry, you are not being dramatic. 9. Smoking. Nicotine in cigarettes constrict blood vessels in the brain by narrowing them, which can directly trigger an attack. Secondhand smoke can do the same. What actually helps? If you smoke, there is genuinely no migraine safe amount. Quitting is the only fix. Avoid secondhand smoke environments, especially during high stress periods. 10th, medication overuse. This one surprises almost everyone. If you are taking acute migraine medications more than 10 days a month, those medications can themselves start causing more frequent migraines. This is called medication overuse headache, also called rebound headache. The very thing you're taking to feel better is perpetuating the cycle. What actually helps? Track your medication use. Work with a headache specialist to safely taper off the offending medication. Shift to a preventive strategy rather than relying entirely on rescue medication. Here's the most powerful thing you can do. Keep a migraine diary. Note the date and the time of every attack, what you ate, how you slept, your stress level, the weather, and any medication you had taken. After just 4 to 6 weeks, pattern will emerge. Your triggers are personal. It's a different story for everyone. You can't always avoid every trigger, but knowing them means you are no longer fighting blind. You are tracking, anticipating, and building a plan, and that changes everything. If migraines are significantly affecting you and your quality of life, please see a doctor. Migraines are a recognized neurological disease. It deserves proper treatment and not just suffering through them. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.